Welcome back to my channel where we dive deep into the fascinating world of coins and currency. Today we're taking an in-depth look at one of the most iconic coins in Canadian history, the 2006 Canadian 1-cent coin. This might seem like a simple penny, but this little copper-plated beauty carries a wealth of history, and for some collectors, its value can surprise you. Let's explore its full history, its significance, and why this small coin could hold a big worth for the right collector. Before we dive into the 2006 1-cent coin, let's go back in time to understand the history of the Canadian penny. The Canadian 1-cent coin has a long and storied past, dating back to 1858 when the province of Canada issued its first 1-cent coins. Over the years, this humble coin became an essential part of daily life in Canada, symbolizing small yet meaningful transactions. Fast forward to the 20th century, where pennies saw numerous design changes. In 1920, Canada adopted the famous maple leaf design, a true emblem of national pride. This design would become the standard and remain on the penny for decades. Now, let's zoom in on the 2006 1-cent coin. This coin belongs to a series that was minted from 1982 until the eventual discontinuation of the penny in 2012. But what makes the 2006 penny particularly interesting? On the obverse side, you'll find the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by artist Susanna Blunt. This effigy, which was introduced in 2003, is notable for depicting a more mature and stately Queen Elizabeth without a crown. This design replaced the previous crown portrait, and it remains a significant part of modern Canadian coinage. Flip the coin, and you'll see the classic maple leaf twig, designed by G. Kruger Gray. The design has been a staple of the penny since 1937 and is widely recognized as a symbol of Canadian identity. Now you may be asking, why is the 2006 penny special? While it was minted in large quantities, over 500 million were struck, there are some factors that elevate its status in the coin collecting world. First, 2006 was the beginning of the final years of the penny's production. Just a few years later, in 2012, Canada made the decision to phase out the penny due to the rising costs of production and the inconvenience it posed in a modern, digital economy. In 2006, no one knew it yet, but this was one of the last stretches of the penny's era in Canada. Additionally, the composition of the penny in 2006 was transitioning. While the coin was primarily copper-plated steel, previous pennies were made of copper and zinc, and earlier still, of bronze. This makes the 2006 penny an example of the cost-cutting measures that ultimately led to the penny's discontinuation. The shift in composition adds an interesting layer to its historical value, marking a shift in how Canada viewed its lowest denomination point. One of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting is the discovery of rare varieties or minting errors. The 2006 Canadian penny is no exception. While these errors may not be widely documented, collectors have come across pennies from this year with slight variations or striking anomalies. These could include double dies, die cracks, or off-center strikes. For collectors, minting errors can dramatically increase the value of a coin. What was once a common coin becomes a rare treasure sought after by enthusiasts willing to pay a premium. So, how much is a 2006 Canadian 1-cent coin worth today? For most people, the 2006 penny may seem like just a reminder of Canada's past currency. Its face value is, of course, 1 cent. However, for collectors, the story is different. Uncirculated coins, or those in near-mint condition, can fetch a higher price, typically ranging from $1 to $5 depending on the market. But it doesn't stop there. If you happen to find a 2006 penny with a rare minting error or in pristine condition graded by a professional agency, its value could jump even higher. Special coins, particularly those with documented errors, can sell for significantly more in the right auction, sometimes fetching upwards of $50 or even $100, depending on demand, but even beyond monetary value. The 2006 penny holds historical significance. It represents a coinage system on the brink of disappearance, a piece of Canada's numismatic heritage that is no longer in circulation. In 2012, the Royal Canadian Mint officially stopped producing the penny, citing the cost of production and its declining usage. While the penny is no longer minted, millions remain in circulation, used in schools, homes, and for educational purposes. The government encouraged people to donate their pennies to charitable causes as they were gradually removed from the economy. The 2006 penny stands as a reminder of the waning days of the penny in Canada, a coin that had once been so integral to the daily lives of Canadians but was now rendered obsolete in a world of digital transactions. If you're a coin collector or just someone with a love for history, the 2006 Canadian penny is more than just a piece of copper-plated steel. It's a link to a bygone era, a relic of a currency that once jingled in everyone's pockets. For collectors, its value lies not only in its potential rarity or condition but in its historical significance. As Canada looks to the future of currency, the penny, particularly the 2006 edition, becomes a nostalgic keepsake from the past. Whether you're collecting as a hobby or looking for a potential investment, the 2006 penny is one you won't want to overlook. And there you have it, the full story behind the 2006 Canadian 1-cent coin. A small coin with a big history, and for some, a surprisingly valuable addition to their collection. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into coin history and value, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more videos just like this. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy collecting! Hey everyone! Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're diving deep into the world of Canadian coins, exploring one of the most fascinating yet often overlooked pieces of currency, the 2008 Canadian 1-cent coin. While it may seem like just a tiny copper coin, the history, value, and importance behind it are much larger than you might think. In this video, we'll uncover its rich history, the minting process, its value in today's collector market, and what makes it stand out among other Canadian pennies. So, grab your magnifying glasses, coin collectors, because we're about to get into some serious coin talk. The 1-cent coin, commonly referred to as the penny, has a long and rich history in Canada, dating back to the early 19th century. The Canadian penny was first introduced in 1858, during the reign of Queen Victoria, as a vital part of the decimal-based currency system. At the time, the 1-cent coin was made from bronze, and over the years, it became an iconic part of Canada's currency system. Fast forward to the 20th century. By 2008, the design of the Canadian penny had seen several iterations, but its core elements remained the same. The obverse, or the head's side, traditionally featured a portrait of the reigning monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, while the reverse, or tail's side, had the iconic maple leaf design. The 2008 penny is particularly significant because it marked one of the final years in which the penny was produced before its discontinuation in 2012. Let's take a closer look at the design elements of the 2008 Canadian 1-cent coin. On the obverse side, you'll find the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Susanna Blunt. What makes this portrait unique is that it does not feature a crown on the Queen's head, which is a departure from earlier portraits where the Queen was shown wearing the crown jewels. On the reverse side, the design showcases the iconic maple leaf, a symbol deeply ingrained in Canadian identity. The design was created by G. Kruger Gray in 1937 and has been featured on the penny ever since, with minor modifications. The maple leaf design represents strength, resilience, and the natural beauty of Canada. The 2008 penny was minted at the Royal Canadian Mint in Winnipeg, Manitoba. It was made primarily from copper-plated steel, which replaced the earlier bronze composition used in previous decades. The shift to a more cost-effective material was a reflection of the increasing cost of copper and the declining purchasing power of the penny. By 2008, producing a 1-cent coin cost more than 1 cent, prompting discussions about the future of the penny in Canadian currency. While the Canadian penny was officially discontinued in 2012, the 2008 penny holds a special place in the hearts of collectors and history enthusiasts for several reasons. The 2008 penny is part of the last decade of Canadian pennies ever produced. Knowing that the penny would soon be phased out, some collectors began holding on to pennies from these final years, viewing them as historical artifacts from a bygone era. As mentioned earlier, the 2008 penny was made from copper-plated steel, a shift that had started in the late 1990s. This change marked the end of the copper alloy coins that many collectors favored. The copper-plated steel coins are lighter, shinier, and have a distinct feel compared to older pennies, making the 2008 penny part of a key era in the evolution of Canadian currency. The 2008 penny represents the tail end of an era when pennies were still actively used in everyday transactions. By the early 2010s, the use of pennies had drastically declined, with many Canadians opting for digital payments or rounding to the nearest 5 cents. The penny's eventual discontinuation in 2012 only amplified the sentimental and historical value of the 2008 pennies. You might be wondering, what is the value of the 2008 Canadian penny today? Well, as with all coins, the value depends on several factors, including rarity, condition, and demand among collectors. While the face value of the penny is obviously 1 cent, its collectible value can be much higher. A 2008 penny in circulated condition may not fetch a high price, perhaps a few cents. However, if the coin is in uncirculated condition, it could be worth much more to collectors. Uncirculated 2008 pennies are considered more valuable because they are in pristine condition and may feature sharper details in the design. The grading of the coin is crucial when determining its value. Coins are typically graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a flawless, mint-state coin. A 2008 penny that has been graded as MS65 or higher mint state can be worth significantly more. These higher-grade coins are often kept in protective cases and have not been exposed to the wear and tear of circulation. Some 2008 pennies may have minting errors, such as double dies, die cracks, or off-center strikes. Coins with errors are highly sought after by collectors because they are rare and unique. If you happen to find a 2008 penny with an error, its value could be much higher than a standard penny. The Royal Canadian Mint also released proof sets and special collector's editions of the penny. These sets, which include highly polished and carefully struck coins, can be worth even more than standard circulation pennies. A 2008 proof penny in its original packaging could be highly desirable among collectors. The 2008 Canadian penny may not be worth thousands of dollars, but it still holds strong investment potential. Here's why. The Canadian penny was officially discontinued in 2012, which makes every penny minted before then, including the 2008 penny, a part of Canadian history. As time goes on, the availability of these pennies in good condition will decrease, driving up their value. The demand for discontinued coins always grows over time, especially when they symbolize the end of an era. Many collectors are seeking to complete their Canadian penny collections, and the 2008 penny is a must-have for any serious collector. As the coin becomes more scarce, the value is likely to increase. While millions of pennies were minted in 2008, most were quickly removed from circulation after the discontinuation in 2012. This means that finding a well-preserved 2008 penny in the future could become increasingly difficult. This scarcity could result in higher prices for these pennies in the future, especially if they're in mint condition. As time progresses, coins like the 2008 penny take on more significance, not just in terms of monetary value but also as historical and cultural artifacts. They become symbols of the era they represent, embodying a nation's identity and monetary history. In the years to come, owning a piece of that history could translate into both sentimental and financial value. That's it for today's deep dive into the 2008 Canadian 1-cent coin. It may be small, but its impact on Canada's currency history and its value to collectors is massive. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone with a few old pennies lying around, you never know what kind of treasures you might have on your hands. So, keep an eye out for those 2008 pennies. Especially if they're in good condition, they could be worth more than just a cent. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating insights into the world of coins and currency. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. As always, if you have any coins you'd like us to cover in future videos, leave a comment below, and we'll get to it. Until then, happy collecting! Hello fellow coin collectors and enthusiasts, welcome back to my channel where we dive deep into the world of numismatics, uncovering the hidden treasures and fascinating stories behind some of the most iconic coins in history. Today we are taking a closer look at a Canadian gem, the 2009 Canadian 1-cent coin. This coin, seemingly small and ordinary, has a rich history and some serious value in the world of collectors. So, whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting, stick around as we reveal why the 2009 1-cent piece is more than meets the eye. The Canadian 1-cent coin, often simply called a penny, was a staple of Canadian currency for over 150 years. Introduced in 1858, the penny became an essential part of everyday commerce in Canada, symbolizing the nation's growing economic power. The coin initially featured Queen Victoria, reflecting Canada's ties to the British monarchy. Fast forward to 2009, this year holds special significance in the penny's lifespan as it was one of the final years of production before the penny was officially discontinued in 2012. But before we get into that, let's dive into the details of the 2009 coin itself. The 2009 penny features the image of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse side, designed by Susanna Blunt. This design had been in use since 2003, showing a more contemporary representation of the Queen without a crown, a departure from earlier portraits of monarchs. On the reverse side, the iconic maple leaf twig designed by G. Kruger Gray is depicted. This design has been a hallmark of Canadian pennies since 1937, symbolizing Canadian heritage and national pride. The 2009 edition of the penny was part of the final years of circulation pennies before their eventual phase-out in 2012. At this point, the production cost of the penny had outpaced its value, leading to the Canadian government's decision to cease minting it. This decision makes the 2009 penny particularly noteworthy for collectors. While the 2009 penny shares many design elements with earlier versions, some details make it stand out in the realm of coin collecting. The 2009 penny was made of 94% steel, 1.5% nickel, and 4.5% copper plating. The shift to steel as the primary material was a cost-saving measure by the Royal Canadian Mint, but it also gives this coin a unique look compared to older copper-based pennies. The 2009 penny was minted at the Royal Canadian Mint's facilities in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and does not have a mint mark, which is typical for pennies produced in that location. However, variations in strike quality or mint errors can significantly increase the value of these coins. Due to the government's plans to phase out the penny, the 2009 mintage numbers were lower compared to earlier years. This lower circulation volume makes the 2009 penny more attractive to collectors. In the years leading up to 2012, when the penny was discontinued, the Canadian government faced mounting pressure to eliminate the coin from circulation. The cost to produce a single penny was estimated at 1.6 cents more than its actual face value, making the penny an economically inefficient denomination. On May 4, 2012, then Finance Minister Jim Flaherty announced that the penny would no longer be minted, citing the cost savings to taxpayers and businesses. The last penny was struck later that year at the Royal Canadian Mint, marking the end of an era. While the 2009 penny wasn't the final year of mintage, it was part of the final 3 years of circulation pennies, making it historically significant for collectors. Now, let's get into the part you've all been waiting for: the value and big worth of the 2009 Canadian penny. While a 2009 penny may not seem worth more than its 1 cent face value, its significance as part of the final years of production and its relatively lower mintage make it valuable to collectors. Several factors determine its worth. As with all coins, the condition is critical. Coins graded as MS65 mint state 65 or higher, which indicates a coin in near perfect condition, can fetch significantly more than those that are worn or circulated. High-grade 2009 pennies in uncirculated condition can sell for between $1 to $10 depending on the buyer and the rarity of the condition. Coins with minting errors, such as misstrikes, die cracks, or off-center strikes, can command premium prices. Some error pennies from 2009 have been known to sell for up to $50 to $100, especially if the error is rare and the coin is in pristine condition. As the penny is no longer in circulation, there's increasing demand from both Canadian and international collectors who want to preserve a piece of Canadian monetary history. The penny's nostalgic value adds to its appeal, especially as fewer and fewer remain in good condition. Collectors often seek the 2009 penny as part of completing a collection of Canadian pennies or as a historical artifact. As time passes, coins from the last years of a discontinued series tend to appreciate in value. The 2009 penny is no exception. With fewer pennies being minted in this year and the fact that many have been removed from circulation, scarcity will continue to drive the value up over time. It's estimated that in the next 10 to 20 years these coins could be worth significantly more, especially if they are in high-grade conditions. For investors, this penny represents not just a piece of currency but a potentially valuable asset that could appreciate with time. Collectors, on the other hand, prize it as part of a rich numismatic tradition in Canada. Either way, the 2009 Canadian 1 cent is much more than a simple penny, it's a tangible piece of history. So, what do you think? Do you have a 2009 Canadian penny tucked away in your collection? If so, you might want to give it a second look. This small coin has a big story and could be worth more than you think, especially as time goes on. Make sure to check the condition and keep an eye out for those rare mint errors. If you enjoyed this video and want more in-depth coin reviews and history, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you never miss another numismatic treasure. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting! This script not only dives deep into the history of the 2009 Canadian penny but also highlights its value, potential worth, and importance for collectors.